Okay, what's going on, everybody? JV Wins is here. Dogon SS is here. Conscious Approach on the YouTube channel is live on March 21st. We appreciate everybody for tuning in as always. Before we get started with this week's commentary, as I always like to do, want to kick things off by first of all saying thank you to all of our new subscribers who have continued to join this little cool little community that we got over here in the corner of YouTube over the course of the last couple weeks. We certainly appreciate everybody for joining. And for anybody who has not done so, if you happen to catch one of this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like the video, leave a comment, let us know what you think about these topics. We certainly acknowledge those comments as we continue to grow the community. So we appreciate you support logical content, as we always like to say. As you can see the ticker going across the bottom of the screen, we have a current goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers. And so we appreciate everybody who is contributing to that goal as we continue along on this journey. So with that out of the way, man, we were talking about this before we went live on the stream, but we have had consecutive weeks of just fire breathing content. Some of it so much so that it had to get left on the cutting room floor and had to wait for the following week. But we got some good stuff this week, man. So interested to have this conversation, interested to talk about this, and interested to see what the people who are a part of the tribe have to say about these various topics. But first things first, and we're going to kick it off talking about Ciara. So Ciara was trending heavily the weekend of the Academy Awards because she wore this revealing see-through type dress to the Oscars. She was joined, of course, by her husband, Russell Wilson. And her outfit of choice made a lot of waves. It had a lot of people talking. And I think, it was people on both sides of the aisle, people saying it was too much. And then there were people saying, stop complaining. She looks good. What y'all complaining about? And then there's also the collateral damage that Russell Wilson incurred due to the fact that she decided to wear this dress, which is what it is. I think at this point, Russell Wilson is just going to be collateral damage damn near for anything that Ciara does these days, even if it doesn't really warrant him being introduced into the conversation. But be that as it may, a couple things that we want to share in order to sort of preempt what we are going to talk about with Ciara. First thing that I'll do here is I'll share this tab. And this tab is from so there's Elle Fashion, Elle Magazine. Elle, of course, has a website, and they published a story in which they delved into Ciara posting a response video claiming that people mad about her dress is selective outrage. So I'll read this real quick first, and then we'll go ahead and actually see what Ciara put on her TikTok. So this article from Elle says Ciara talks about the selective outrage over her see-through dress. On Sunday, March 12th, pop star Ciara attended the Vanity Fair Oscars party with her husband, Russell Wilson, and she was wearing a gorgeous cross-hatched gown by Dundas with a pair of Santoni high-heeled shoes. The dress was made of black sheer material and studded with jewels, hugging to every curve it didn't reveal. The sheer look has been quite popular on the red carpet and fashion runways this year. In fact, quite a few people wore similar styles to the event. Alessandra Ambrosio, hope I'm saying that right, wore another sheer Dundas gown, for example. So this is going down the list, showing other celebrities who have worn similar type dresses. So clearly Ciara is not alone. This is a thing that a lot of these celebrity female actresses are doing. Some of these aren't necessarily see-through gowns, but are quite revealing nevertheless. So here's another actress here. I'm not going to even pretend to pronounce this girl's name. Here is another dress that Zoe Saldana wore. You can clearly see her breast there. And then the copy continues. Though some of these stunners were applauded for their style, none seemed to cause the controversy Ciara's dress did. Her name was quickly trending on social media, and she seemed to receive a great deal of criticism for flaunting her amazing physique. On Thursday, the singer responded to the fervor around her dress with a jokey TikTok about the situation. Along to a soundtrack that sounded like paparazzi calling for her attention, she walked an imaginary red carpet while wrapped in a white bed sheet, swirling it around and striking a pose for the cameras. Selective outrage, she captioned the funny video. Her husband seemed to have no issue with how his wife was dressed on the real red carpet and even went shirtless underneath his black suit for the evening. Not that Wilson has to not that what Wilson has to say about her style matters as much as Ciara's own clothing choices, but it's good to have a husband who is also your biggest fan. Blah blah blah. So clearly the author of this article is a woman. But so now I want to share the actual TikTok that Ciara put out there.
Yeah, and by the way, YouTube, if there was some sheer covering there, that is sheer covering. So we're covering fashion there. So no age restrictions here. All right, that was all.
I don't think that. Well, when I set this stream up, they make you select whether this clip is for kids or not. So we're good. YouTube put those little.
Bro, trust me,
they'll still block it.
Yeah.
I hope not. They shouldn't, because that filter is supposed to,
No. I'll tell you offline.
Okay. All right. So yeah, here we go. Here was Ciara's response. So it's very short, very brief, but she's clearly making the point that people are selectively outraged over her dress. So here you go.
This girl here.
All right, Ciara, looking up for the second floor here.
Unbelievable.
Right. So that's that. So she's making a point that, fine, if y'all want to complain about my dress so much, here's what y'all really want, because y'all want to be so outraged. I'm going to cover my whole body and wear a white bed sheet. So clearly some sarcasm inherent in that response, some cynicism in that response, some what's the word I'm looking for? There's another word that I'm looking for to describe that. It'll come to me, but you get the point. So there you go. Dogon, we talked about this a little bit last week. So here it is on the channel. What do you think about her wearing the dress and her claim that people mad about the dress are selectively outraged, and just the whole situation entirely?
I feel like Ciara, as an artist, she's gonna have her excuses, her built-in excuses of why she can act the way that she acts, even though she's married. And so women don't do anything unless they already have a built-in excuse before they do it. And if they have already a built-in excuse, they just go ahead and do it. And then once whatever happens gets revealed, oh, you did this, you talking to who, you weren't treating me right, blah, 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 blah. It was already a built-in thing on why they're going to do whatever. So in this situation here, I'm an artist. I'm the theme was you barely there. I'm dressed in theme. There's other women who wore dresses just like this. Why select me? So she already had a pre-built in excuse to wear such an outfit. So she can sit on her high horse and point at other people and have a defense to shaming her husband, because that's what she did, in my opinion. And I noticed those other women. Now, Ciara took pictures by herself. Those women may have came with other men, but I noticed that all those women wearing those dresses weren't standing next to their husbands. And the thing is, when this whole Ciara Russell thing got started, people from the rafters were hollering that this don't look right. This is not passing the sniff test. She just finished dealing with the savage of all savages. I mean, he writes anthems to teach other people how to be savages in today's modern era. And she dealt with him and had a child by him. And then now she's going to choir leading, doing lunges in the plane, Russell Wilson. And it didn't feel right. Me personally, before all of this stuff with Russ blew up, and we'll get into that stuff later. But I was a Russ guy. It's a lot of stuff coming around lately, man. It's too much smoke around this guy, to where it's just like, hey, man, I know you're a good dude and all, but you gotta tighten this situation up. But this lady right here, she's doing exactly what she wants to do. She's running all over him. This is her house, not his. And even though she's butt naked, or as Bernie Mac would say, bucket naked, she's still wearing the pants in the house. So how about you, sir? How do you feel about this situation?
Yeah, I'll let you have the Russell angle. Of course, I got my thoughts on it too. I just think that Russell's like Tim Tebow, but he's like the black Tim Tebow to me. And I just kind of feel like guys like that. I feel like guys like that don't get to encounter women of the physical caliber of Ciara. And so when they do get that opportunity, whatever principles they may have, they'll compromise them if it's in the service of making that woman happy. So that's pretty much all I'll say when it comes to Russell Wilson for now, because I'm sure we'll get into Russell Wilson a little more. And that's not even to say that Tim Tebow, because I even think Tim Tebow, to me, in this context, is more respectable than Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
because Tim Tebow ain't trying to get married to nobody like that. I don't see that. I feel like Tim Tebow is a little more principled than Russell Wilson is in that regard. But we'll talk about and like Tim Tebow went and he's got his marriage and his family and whatnot, and don't really see this kind of stuff from Tim Tebow's wife, but that's neither here nor there. So the thing that I thought about initially with this situation is I felt tremendous confusion. So like, I think that it's very ironic that in this social justice climate that we live in, right, we're post Me Too, and we're fully enthralled in this notion of woman empowerment. Ironically, isn't March Women's History Month, I believe. It's all about feminism and respect that is paid unto women, put women in the CEO positions, put women in charge, let women run the show. A lot of people think women are better at running the show than men. That's your opinion if you think that. We're in this time where it's all about gender neutrality. So it's all about equality amongst genders and sexes. View women in totality as their own individual selves, and do not do some of the things that women used to have attached to them, such as sexualization, being over-sexualized, being viewed upon as sexual objects. So like, the reason why I'm confused now is because I get inundated with messages all the time telling me that it is now my responsibility to always look at women and never think about sex, never think about them as sexual objects, never think about women's sexualization. But while I'm being told these things, I also have to watch Ciara wearing these types of outfits. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm very confused. So like, I get women empowerment. I understand it. I get it. Women want to make as much money as men. They want to operate in the same, upper tier corporate spaces as men. Women want to be movers and shakers the same way as men. And you know me, if I'm a talk about how racial equality with respect to career opportunities sometimes is overblown, because I do think that at a certain extent in 2023 it really is all about job performance. Then I'm going to apply the same standard when I'm talking about women. I don't really care if it's a woman or not. Personally, if you can do the job, give the woman the CEO job. I don't care if she's smart enough, if she's capable, if she's qualified, if she's competent. I don't give a damn. Give her the job. I don't care. So I don't really care about this idea. I don't really, me personally, I don't see this whole thing about, there being a problem with with affording women those same types of opportunities. I'm all for that. But where I get confused is, hey, don't look at me as a sexual object. Don't think about sex when you look at me. It's not about that. I'm not sexualizing myself. This isn't the world that we live in anymore. Get your misogynistic tendencies. You got to throw that out with the bathwater, because this is a new day and we ain't thinking about that stuff anymore. Okay, that's fine. Well, but let's be consistent and let's match rhetoric with action and behavior. What do you expect me to think about when I look at you wearing a dress like that? Like, I ask you, as a human being, when you see Ciara wearing that outfit, what's the first thing that you think about?
You asking me?
Like, yeah, like, no, like, yeah, like, what are you thinking about when you see her wearing that?
That she's about to launch an OnlyFans.
Yeah, so essentially, you're thinking about sex.
Yeah.
Like, when I see Ciara, and look, Ciara isn't an exception. When I see these other celebrities dressed like that, those other chicks that Zoe Saldana and some of those other ones that were pictured in that article, I'm thinking the same thing. When I see you wearing an outfit where you're showing off your curves and your body and I can see your body, what I'm thinking about is what you look like naked and how much I want to have sex with you. That's what I'm thinking about. Am I being unreasonable at that point? Because that's what comes to my mind. You're naked.
No.
That's what I think about when I see a naked woman. And what's interesting about this is I don't even think men are the only ones thinking about that. Women are probably also looking at them dressed that way and thinking about sex.
Yeah.
Women are also thinking about sex. So what are we doing here? So I'm experiencing tremendous cognitive dissonance with these types of situations, because I'm hearing people scream at me, JV wins, don't look at my hips and my ass and my breasts and my body, and it's about my mind and what I can contribute to society. Don't look at me as right. Like, don't I'm not a sexual object. That's misogynistic. We're not doing rap videos in the 90s and the early 2000s anymore. You're being a misogynist. Oh, I'm being a misogynist? But then you can turn around and wear a dress in which I can see your entire body publicly at an event watched by billions of people worldwide. I don't understand it. I'm quite literally confused. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But I'm going to tell you this. As long as women, and look, I'm not knocking it. All I'm asking for is consistency. So if you want to keep wearing the dresses, I'm all good. I'm cool with it. I like women. The more I get to see stuff like that, the more I get to see stuff like that, the better. So, I'm not knocking it. Go ahead. You need to fix your lighting.
No, go ahead. Keep on.
So yeah, I'm not knocking it. The more I get to see women dressed like that, the better for me. It's more appealing to my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be consistent. And at that point, let's tone down some of this, modern SJW feminist rhetoric, in which I am now demonized as a straight male for objectifying women. Because when you dress like that, in my opinion, you are positioning yourself to be objectified. I don't know any other way to cut it. How does anyone look at what Ciara was wearing and say that's not objectification? Is it okay because she's objectifying herself, so therefore she's giving me permission to objectify her because she did it first? Help somebody give me the rules on this. Somebody here in chat, on the video, let me know what the rules are. I'm confused about the rules. I don't know what the deal is, but that's what I experience whenever these situations come about. It's just confusion. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here, but as long as I continue to see women with beautiful bodies dressed naked in public, I'm going to continue to, think about them within a sexual context. and I'm going to objectify them. And I think that that is the natural reaction. So, you know, it is what it is, but I don't know what you expect. And I think, like I said, on whether it's men or women, I look at that and I think sex. Women are looking at that and they're thinking sex. I don't know what you expect people to do. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, but when we talked about this before, you know, the double speak that goes on when women speak, you know, and generally not all women, you know, when they're doing their talk, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth, and they're saying they want one thing and clearly they want another. So this is that whole no accountability stuff on roids. Don't blame me, don't shame me for nothing. We need to bring shaming back, everybody. People need to be ridiculed for their actions, so they would think twice before doing them. Not, oh, hey man, I got mine, you got yours. I don't be breathing down your neck. And then when everybody's doing that, it's just chaos. And right now we're just witnessing chaos. I heard too many people come to Ciara's defense about this, you know. But here's the thing. Now we are dealing with entertainers. And so when you're dealing with entertainers, more or less, you're not dealing with people with high integrity. They're willing to do whatever it takes to get on and keep moving to the next level. Things are dry for Ciara. You know, the whole I'm married shtick is getting stale. She wants to be out there in the streets, clearly. And she wants to make some noise because her all my single ladies do wop de doop dop song that she was trying to push, that everybody was like, man, that shit trash. So her attempt to come back musically wasn't really doing anything. There's a lot invested in this, girl. Go out there, bucket naked. We need to strum up some attention around here. Russ, you have to be okay with this.
yeah.
Hey, yeah. I'm a Christian man. I've got values. What about little Future? No, Russ. She needs to do this. And so now Russ, as you see his facial expression there, right? I mean, he looks drained. And as you said, bro, I like the Tim Tebow comp, and I'll play with that. And one thing about Tim Tebow and his evangelical spirit when it came to Christianity, Russ was doing the same shtick in Seattle.
He was.
I'm so committed to this situation, I'm not even going to hit it before we get married. Excuse me, sir? The whole squad done had this. What do you mean? Russ played this quintessential simp in front of the world. And this is what's so gut-wrenching about this situation. For somebody who had, you know, I mean, I just was a fan of his game since NC State. And then, but as of late, things have gotten real wonky. And it's gotten wonky-er, because, you know, there was some smoke before all of this, but it's gotten wonky-er since she's into the picture. And it's just become a disaster of a situation. And he's looking a lot more like a Will Smith. You know, you would say Scottie Pippen. Just women that they've selected embarrassing them like this on a grand scale. But he chose to marry an R&B chick. And we're not talking about some sultry, you know, in the leaves, you know, on the beach. This girl here was twerking on cars. So this is what you married, sir. And yes, this comes with the territory of marrying a celebrity. The wild part about this, because everybody liked to talk about Obama and Michelle Obama and what it represented for Black people in a White House. A lot of people were saying, well, at least we got the imagery. And I don't want imagery, but we'll stick to this topic. And the imagery that we're displaying, because we only put celebrities up there in front of everybody to see. So when we see marriage that's supposed to be going the right way, we see a woman clearly disrespecting her husband. So the mindset that's being promoted to the masses, consciously or subconsciously, is, ladies, you can do what you want, even if you have a man.
Yeah.
And that message is seeping in. That when they drop these little droplets of seeds in the soil of which is your brain, it then creates an inception. Now this girl walking around here thinking she can walk out the house. She'll probably create a new shit test for you because of all of this. She never would walk out of the house wearing some goofy stuff like this until Ciara did it. Now she want to walk out of the house a little scantilier just to see if you're going to try to check her or not. This is the madness that we're dealing with, with people who consume this stuff with no filters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, I tell the people that's close to me all the time, you have to filter this stuff. When all these new screens and stuff, man, if you look at these new screens too much for all these blue lights, you're going to start losing some vision. You need to put some blocks in front of you. And that's just from the screen. Imagine the messages that's coming through and you're not even filtering it. It's coming straight through your brain and it's going out through your actions, Mr. Ja Morant.
Yep.
So it gets to you. And so this is the part about this little situation that they pulled out here in front of the masses. But enough people check this at the front door. The community, the internet community, I don't know, man. They say it takes a village to raise a child. And right now, the internet village is doing a pretty good job of calling some stuff out lately. And I'm here with them calling out Ciara for looking like this, because you're not going to see anybody else. It's in our community.
Yeah.
You're not going to see anybody else disrespect their husband like this. I don't care if this is Vanity Fair. So yeah, man, this is trash. I don't like it. But Russ, this is what you signed up for. And yeah, man, you get what you get, man.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah. And that's the thing, man. Not everything modern is good. Like we've just swung the pendulum in such an opposite direction in which we're trying to say that there shouldn't be a such thing as standards, rules, and decorum and just codes to follow. We want to eradicate all forms of any kind of code. It's interesting you bring that up because I often talk about the trickle-down effect. Whenever we talk about these types of situations and people kind of think that we're kind of taking it too seriously sometimes. Not everybody. A lot of people tend to kind of understand the point that we're trying to make. But you'll have people who kind of feel like we blowing smoke, just making too much of something that's not a big deal. And I often try to tell people there's a trickle-down effect with a lot of this stuff. And you cannot take for granted how potent the concept of what you just talked about, where a girl might decide to dress more revealing just to kind of shit test her dude. Don't take for granted where she may have gotten that cue from.
Right.
Like these things trickle down. I remember maybe a year or so ago, might have been longer than that, maybe a couple years ago. I was still living in Tallahassee, and I was out at a dance bar. I don't really call it a club. It was more like a bar that had a dance floor with a DJ in it. To me, clubs are different, but it's neither here nor there. It was a place where people came to hang out at night and dance and drink. but I just
Right.
wouldn't consider it a club. But be that as it may, there was this couple that came in throughout the course of the night, black couple, and the guy was wearing regular club stuff, a button shirt, some pants or whatever. And his girl was wearing a dress, and I could see through the dress and I could see her whole body, the whole thing. Like I could see her whole thing. Now she had pasties covering up her nipples, but I could see everything. I could see,
Where this was at?
huh?
What's you don't want to name the spot? Where the spot was at?
No, yeah, the name of the place was called Fifth and Thomas, and I'm comfortable. It was at Midtown, and the only reason why I'm comfortable naming it that is because that place is gone now. It doesn't exist. It's a bar with another name now. But this is where it was, and they walked in, and I could see her whole body. Cute girl, nice body.
Hell no.
Yeah, cute girl, nice body, and she was wearing something that was very much like this. And the entire night, because I'm observant, so I'm watching this situation unfold. And the dude looked like he just got finished listening to Fabulous Cuffing Season for 24 straight hours, because he was cuffing the shit out of this girl. He was doing the best job that he possibly could to ensure that she was not getting any attention or getting approached by any other men in this place. And she, meanwhile, was just sitting there, being there. And the thought came across my mind, like she has to be aware of the fact that this guy is internally, mentally dealing with a tremendous amount of anguish. He's not relaxed. He's too preoccupied with making sure that no one's trying to step to his girl the whole time. So he might have been able to play it off and make it look like he was chilling, but he wasn't. I can tell. This dude wasn't relaxed. She knows this. She just didn't give a shit. She didn't care. Because to her, I do whatever I want. And it's your responsibility as my man to be okay with that. And the problem with this whole thing is, like, and this is one of the things that kind of has been wrought by like social media and stuff like that. But we live in a current culture of extreme coddling and apologizing. And so what we want to create this society in which people can do and say whatever they want, and there's no rules to abide by, no code to abide by. There's no morals, no principles. There's just nothing. Like you said, do you, because I'm doing me. Everybody wants to be able to do and say whatever they want and not get checked. Pretty soon, people are going to be walking around in public naked. And what are they going to be like? Oh, I can do it. It's like, don't check me. Don't stop. Why are you outraged? I'm just naked. Don't be outraged. We're pushing the envelope further and further and further. And it's like, look, man, like I said before, my overarching point is fine. If y'all want to play this game, this crazy game that y'all want to play, then don't get mad when men respond to those signals and start treating you via objectifying you and sexualizing you and looking upon you as sexual objects. Mm-hmm. You can't have one without the other. That's what's going to happen. So don't come to me with the complaints when you start getting the reaction. That's what's going to happen. Now, if you have an issue with the reaction, how about we instill some of the rules that were never broken to begin with, because they worked. Rules and standards work, people. Like, certain things need to go away because they're antiquated. This ain't one of them. Like, if I see your girl with no clothes on in the club, I'm going to be looking at her. I'm going to look, sir. I'm going to look. Russell Wilson, I'm going to look. I'm going to look. And you're going to get upset with me. How about you get upset and question your woman as to why she would want to wear that with you around in the first place? So it's just weird. Like, we have a society of social anarchists. That's what I've noticed. There's a large portion of our population that believes in and wants to see a world devoid of any kind of rules. They want social anarchy. They want to be able to say and do whatever they want. You can't just say and do whatever you want, people. I'm sorry. You can't just say and do whatever you want. Now, this is a free country, so say and do whatever you want, but there's going to be consequences that come from this type of behavior. It is what it is. So Ciara can talk about selective outrage all she wants. There's consequences associated with dressing like that. Like you said, it would have been interesting to see what the reaction would have been had she had worn that without Russell Wilson around. Maybe it would have been different. I think that's an interesting theory. But nevertheless, this only could have happened with her if he was there, because that's just the way their dynamic works. Unfortunately for him, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I would honestly, if it were me, I wouldn't jump down my girl's throat and sort of like dictate to her, you can't dress like this. I would actually want to peer into her mind and get a greater understanding for why she wants to. I would want to sit down with her and be like, why do you think that dressing like this is something that, number one, I'd be okay with, and number two, that you'd want to do, knowing what can come of it when I'm around in the vicinity, and just hear what it is that she has to say. But nevertheless, I don't like it. I don't like the tone, or rather the undertone of social anarchy that it puts forth. I think that this is a dangerous game that we're playing here. I only seeing it becoming more and more pervasive. And I mean, I find it very ironic and somewhat hypocritical. Like, you better not, and God forbid, I'm not wishing this on anybody. I'm not. Please don't get it twisted. I'm not wishing this on anybody. And I'm not necessarily trying to excuse it, but this is how certain things like sexual assault increase in frequency. I mean, there's a lot of weirdos and creepers and crazy men out in the world who don't have control of themselves. I'm not saying that this is excusing their behavior, but the more and more of this that there is going on, there's a correlation between that and the increase in deranged behavior, not just on the part of men, but on the part of everybody.
Right. Basically, like hypersexualization begets hypersexualization.
That's what right. Yeah. And so you need to keep these things in mind while you go about trying to preach your gospel, encouraging social anarchy. Right. So, I just think it's a dangerous game to play, but whatever, right? 2023, everybody get it in. Like you said, I'm doing me, you doing you. So I'm dressing naked. If you want to dress naked, go ahead and dress naked, because I'm not going to judge. If you want to show up to a Lakers game wearing a see-through skirt with no panties on, go ahead and do it, because, hey, no rules. Everything's fair game. And I don't think that at the end of the day, you are going to be appreciative of some of the ancillary byproducts that this type of behavior will have wrought. And there might be situations and scenarios in which you wish that had you had it to do all over again, you would have made a different decision.
Yeah, well, this will be my last set of statements here. There's always been attention whores since the beginning of time, and there will always be attention whores. And this is attention whoring at its finest. All right. Another thing I'll say is that when you were talking about bro bringing old lady to the club, and she out there with nipple pasties in Midtown.
She basically looked just like this, except hers wasn't as long as Ciara's. Hers was shorter. The dress was shorter, but it was basically the same thing.
And for the audience, Midtown is just very basic, dry bar mingling. It's not a major club scene at all. I have no idea why she was wearing that at Midtown. But be that as me, that woman was feeding from that whole experience. And so this is the last thing I'm gonna say. So there's two types of people in this world when you're dealing with somebody. There's either somebody that's building you up or they're tearing you down. There's nobody neutral. If they're neutral, they're tearing you down. They're only people that's building you up and tearing you down. And so you'll know who you're dealing with from a scenario like the one he just explained from Midtown. And that woman was in this Ciara situation. Look at Ciara's face. Look at Russ's face. Who's feeding off of who? Where's the balance in that image? She's feeding off of this entire experience. So she's tearing him down. So when you're dealing with somebody, you decide to put a ring on that finger, live with that person, be in a relationship with that person. Is that person building you up, or are they distracting you and tearing you down? Are they setting you up in scenarios where you're an emotional wreck? Just like how you said, bro was going through all kinds of emotions that night. He was trying to keep everything. He was looking like Russ in this picture. If somebody took a still shot of him, he would have been looking just like a fool.
He had Bobby Portis eyes. He was out there looking like Bobby Portis.
Hey,
he was out there looking like Bobby Portis, bro. He was like, he was looking for any penis in the vicinity to make sure that he wasn't looking at his girl. And no man wants to deal with that. Men want peace.
That's wild. Shout out to Bobby Portis, man. He's super. But yeah, but just be mindful of that, people. All right. That's romantic or interpersonal. They're either building you up or tearing you down, man. And nowadays, the way that things are set up, the way the direction of life is going, people are getting into vices that are getting weirder and weirder. So you're better off staying away from people who have these vibrations that want to bring you to a certain vibration. And this woman here, we can clearly see if there was a career trajectory, and we see the implant of where Ciara got there, and then we start PFFing Russell Wilson's grades after that. I'm pretty sure there's a steep decline. Now, people can start pointing at other factors, but if he had a strong woman in his corner, he would be fighting through all of that crap and being a better version of himself instead of declining as a man, looking more and more simpish body out. So this whole scenario here just screams that, hey, cautionary tale for everybody watching. If you got somebody that's feeding off of your life energy like this, feeding off of your blood and your essence, drop them. Russ, he is too late. He married an R&B chick who twerked on cars. Of course she dressing like this. I'm talking about y'all. So be mindful, man. Cautionary tale. Russ, hey, man, you signed up. You signed up for it. This is only going to get worse.
Yeah, this is on you. It's on him. It's on him. I have sympathy for him, but I also don't have too much sympathy for him because women may have access to like sex, but men have access to marriages and relationships.
Yep.
Ciara didn't force him to get married. He wanted to get married to her.
This is
and
him.
Yeah, and it's just, it is what it is. Like, you know, and man, my whole thing is give me some consistency. I don't like cognitive dissonance. Give me some consistency. Don't feed me all of this BS about female empowerment when all of your heroes and heroines rather, and your mascots and your representations are walking around dressed like this. You know, this is the Ciaras of the world, Lori Harveys, all of these other Instagram chicks. Larsa Pippen will dress like this. Gabrielle Union, she dressed like this. You know, and it's just like enough is enough. Enough is enough. Give me some consistency. Seriously. Shouts out to our boy Darrell McCall on the chat. He left a few comments. He said the internet social has been catered to women making money off of men's natural sexual urge. Rules or pimp politics in the public to get what you want. And Black American culture has gone down the drain, and everyone wants blacks to be their mascot for every cause. I don't disagree with any of that.
All facts, bro.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, keep your head. Stay up, Russell. Stay up. I don't know, man.
Bro.
And on top of that, he playing like shit too. His season was horrible last year.
Good luck, sir. I'm screaming correlation on that. Good luck, sir.
Yeah. Stay up, Russ. Stay up, man. All right, next up, we're going to talk about his heiress. We're going to talk about MJ.
Yeah.
So, interesting thing has come across the pipe, with respect to Michael Jordan over the course of the last week. Apparently, Michael Jordan is in serious talks to sell the majority of his stakes in the Charlotte Hornets. For anyone who doesn't know much about the NBA or follow sports or Michael Jordan is the only black owner in the NBA. And he's one of very few, if not the only majority black owner of any professional sports franchise in this country. Bob Johnson used to own the Charlotte Bobcats. He sold it to some white person. Jordan bought it from that white person. Initially, Jordan had a minority stake, but eventually Jordan said, no, I want to own the whole thing. So now he's a majority. He owns the majority of the shares, thereby making him majority owner of the Charlotte Hornets. I always thought that this was a positive thing, but it looks like it might be coming to an end pretty soon. Looks like Jordan is looking to sell off his majority shares of the Charlotte Hornets, which would in effect make him no longer the owner of the Charlotte Hornets. So there's some chatter and some talk around this particular situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and just read a little bit from this opinion piece. This is from Marca sports blog on the internet, credible news source. It says Michael Jordan, best player in history, but worst owner. Many regard Michael Jordan as the greatest basketball player of all time, but he's been less successful as an owner. His record at Charlotte isn't easy reading for fans, and his time there could soon be coming to an end. Jordan first became a minority stakeholder in the then Charlotte Bobcats in 2006 and became majority owner of the franchise in 2006. In 2014, the team rebranded as the Hornets. Last week, it became known that Air Jordan was weighing up selling most of his shares in the franchise. If he does so, he will leave as one of the worst owners of all time. Losing record in the 17 seasons since Jordan joined the organization, Charlotte have only finished with a positive win-loss balance in 4. So they've only had a better than 500 record 4 times in 17 years that Jordan owned the team. Of those, they only made it to the playoffs in 3, losing in the first round on each occasion. Of all NBA teams, no one is on a longer streak of not reaching the playoffs than the Hornets, who haven't reached the postseason since 2016. With Jordan on board, the team has an overall win rate of 41.9%. That's not good. These numbers include the worst season by any team in NBA history when the Bobcats won just 10.6% of their games in the 2011-12 season. That season included a losing streak of 23 games. And then it goes on to talk about certain other aspects of the team during Michael Jordan's stewardship. There have been other conversations taking place from other content creators. Colin Cowherd in particular talked about Jordan possibly selling a team and sort of remarked similar in this fashion to how Michael Jordan has kind of been a me first, selfish kind of guy, and how him selling the team is sort of the coalescence of a bad ownership tenure with him at the helm of the Charlotte Hornets. So this is kind of big NBA news, kind of at the executive ownership level, with Jordan potentially selling the team. Penny, for your thoughts on what you have to say about Jordan potentially no longer being the owner of the Hornets.
Long overdue, in my opinion. I was just baffled by those draft selections. That thing said he picked MKG over Bradley Beal and Damian Lillard.
Yeah,
that's a wild lifestyle. Like, and I don't know what he does when he's doing his stuff. Whenever there's moves being made during free agency, none of them make sense. And just like, the draft picks, none of it makes sense. It was just not being run well. I always saw him more of I didn't really think he'd be much of a coach. So I think he would have been more of an exec kind of a guy. So this more or less fit his role, but I don't think he has the skill set for this, and athletically, the guy was a monster. Mentality wise, when it comes to being competitive, he was a monster. So I figured he would, bring that into this arena, but it just did not translate. And man, probably about a decade into it, I was already like, hey man, this needs to stop. This is not good. I hoped that he would get better, and it just didn't. I thought the corner would turn with Ball, because I thought Ball was hype until I seen him play his first preseason game, and I was like, oh, okay, bro, legit. But the roster still didn't make sense. And honestly, man, the from character to culture, none of it's right in Charlotte. And so I think it'd be best to cut ties. I won't look at him as a quitter. I looked at it like he took on a challenge. He wanted a new challenge in life. He took it on. He didn't succeed, but he was still up there. So I don't really fault him for this, but I feel like enough's enough. That's why I said like a decade ago he should have called this, because now they can start stringing all these other metrics together that got him look even crazier, because it wasn't going to get any better and it didn't. So, but how about you, man? How do you feel about Mr. Air here probably calling the quits?
Man, and not only that, but when he selected Cody Zeller, Giannis was still on the board.
Oh,
Cody Zeller, coincidentally enough, currently playing for my Miami Heat, stinking up the joint. That's a story for another video. But Cody Zeller, when he was selected, Giannis was still on the board. He selected somebody named Noah Vonleh. I don't even know who that is. Zach LaVine was still on the board. I don't even like Zach LaVine, but he's better than this guy, because I don't even know who that guy is. When he selected Frank Kaminsky, Devin Booker was still on the board. When he selected
Frank
Malik
Kaminsky?
Monk, yes. When he selected Malik Monk, Donovan Mitchell, and Bam Adebayo were still on the board.
Oh.
And when he selected Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was traded on draft night in order to acquire Miles Bridges. Now, Miles Bridges is good. He's not SGA. SGA is a beast. So that is also looking not very good.
And it's clear character issues with Bridges.
Right, yeah. Correct. So yeah, I mean, but see, here's the thing for me, because that is to read that off, that's a hard pill to swallow, especially if you are a Jordan fan. But like, they always say that skills as a player don't translate to skills as an executive, or vice versa. A lot of the great coaches were average to below average players, and a lot of the great GMs were also average to below average players. It's a different brain chemistry in terms of that kind of skill set. But the reason why this makes me sad is because I am of the belief, and I'm going to go galaxy brain a little bit here.
All right.
I'm going to invoke my inner Stephen A. Smith. If I can for a moment.
Okay.
The reason why this makes me sad is because I do think that sports are a microcosm of regular society. So if you want to understand what's going on in sports, you can sort of extrapolate that to the same observations that you can make in society. Sports are just a reflection of what's going on in the rest of the world. And one of the things that we talk about, I know you and I talk about this a lot. I don't think we'll ever see this in the NFL, because the NFL is too much of a cabal. You can't infiltrate the NFL. You can't do it. The NFL is just this impenetrable force field. You can't infiltrate it. But the NBA is a different story. And I believe personally that the more non-white owners you have owning franchises, the better. So I think that, and I've given up on the NFL. I don't think this will ever happen in pro football, but I think that there's still a chance that this can happen in baseball, but in particular the NBA. And Michael Jordan was sort of a beacon for that possibility, because he was a black majority owner of a team. And with him selling the shares with him selling the majority of his shares, in all likelihood to a white person, I would imagine. I don't think he's going to sell it to I mean, how many black billionaires you got out there who can buy this, who can afford this? I don't know. But I'm assuming that this is going to be sold to a person who ain't black. I'm not going to say it's a bad look because, hey, you can turn a profit on a sports franchise. Do what you do, Jordan. And like you said, he did give it a go. He's owned it for 17 years, so it is what it is. So I'm not going to necessarily look upon him negatively and say it's a bad look. But I do think that symbolically it's unfortunate because I perceive it as taking a step backwards in terms of the idea that you can have actual black people owning these franchises. And like Colin Cowherd talks about this often on his show. And as an aside, in my opinion, I think Colin Cowherd does sports commentary the best, in my opinion. But he talks about this often on his show. Like the way that this world is kind of going crazy. No one knows what's going on with the economy. No one knows what's going on with, you got people trying to, real estate is a volatile market. The stock market itself is volatile. Cryptocurrency is volatile.
Super.
NFTs and all of these weird new currencies and all of these new things are volatile. Nothing is a sure bet. Nothing in this world is a sure bet. But the one thing in this world that is a sure bet is owning a pro sports franchise. It's the one thing that an individual can acquire that will print them money, even if the team isn't doing well. And after about 30 to 40 years, you've accumulated such generational wealth that it's just going to last into perpetuity for forever until the world ends, which means so much if you can manage to keep it within your own cipher and within your own family, which is what these NFL owners do. They don't sell teams. Situations like the Broncos, that happens like once every 100 years. That never happens where an NFL team just comes up for sale. These things don't get sold. They stay in the family or some kind of close confidant because they're money printers. Even bad teams are printing money. And it's the same in the NBA, especially when you factor in these TV deals and these contracts like this. So like to have a guy who's black owning a team, to me, was a positive because it symbolized something bigger than just running a franchise and running sports. And it was sort of, symbolic of this idea that you can get some black people owning some teams. And me, people want to talk about racism all day, and people want to talk about equality and blah, 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 blah. And me, I've been consistent in saying that these are economic observations more so than anything else. And the way that you sort of stem the tide and eradicate a lot of these societal issues is through the accumulation of generational wealth, appreciable assets and resources. That's how you remove yourself from these various things. And so Jordan, to me, represented a step in the right direction in terms of black people being able to push for something like that. Not saying that tomorrow we're going to get a bunch of black billionaires trying to purchase majority stakes in teams, but just what it represented. And so for him to sell the team, to me, is just sad because I feel like we'll be going backwards from that cause. And it's even going to look worse if he sells it to a white guy and then the team starts doing better. That's going to look even worse. Because, like, what if, the new owner shows up, assuming that this goes down, some new guy, some white guy, let's say hypothetically, is now the majority owner of the Hornets. All of a sudden, they're making the right draft picks. They're finessing the salary cap way better. They're signing great free agents. And now the Hornets are getting into the playoffs, second round, semifinals, conference finals, hell, maybe even getting to the finals. Who knows? It's going to make Jordan's tenure look even worse. And it's going to make things like what I'm saying right now look like pie in the sky notions even more so, because the idea is, why should anybody care about something like more black people owning teams? Look at what this guy did when he bought the team from Jordan and the team started doing better. So it just makes me sad. Cool. I mean, at the end of the day, Jordan is going to do his thing. In all likelihood, he's going to make significantly more money in selling the team than he did when he initially purchased it. Because like I said, these things print money. Even when the teams are trash, they still print money. These people still go to games. These teams print money. The only pro teams that don't, print money are like WNBA teams, because who cares about the WNBA? Other than the WNBA, and I don't know much about like Major League Soccer, or I don't know too much about hockey, but I'm pretty sure hockey turns a profit too. But this NBA, this MLB, as old as those fans are, and this NBA, MLB, and NFL, they're money printers. And so, it's just sad to see that this could be coming to an end, even though Jordan didn't do a very good job. So, um, I usually rail against symbolism because I think it amounts to nothing for the most part. But Jordan was actually a black person who owned a team outright. And I do think that black ownership in professional sports is something that we need to be talking more about, because, like I said, sports are a microcosm of the rest of society. You get more black people owning teams, you're probably going to have more black people running Fortune 500 companies and doing the right thing, acquiring generational wealth, and removing themselves from these various problems in society the best, most efficient way. And I think Jordan selling the team will take that particular cause a step backwards.
I mean, I hear that angle. I don't. Hopefully, it doesn't. I don't think that it would. Me personally, I look at Jordan completely objectively, in the sense that he's a really selfish man. And so this situation to me, it worked on a basketball court, being egotistical, being the man, being the loudest, being the rudest, you having the last word, having the last say, and having the last shot. And that worked on a basketball court because that's, a game. But when you're dealing with business, being an executive, if you want to have the last say, have the this, have the that, bring this person in, sign them to this because you see something in him. Hey, bro, you're not signing people to jump, man. You trying to get people to win a championship. So just because you like his game, don't mean you got to sign him to all these millions of dollars. That was his problem. He kept doing that over and over again, and he didn't see his own pattern. And apparently too many yes men or something like that. But that's his problem of being too egotistical in my book. That all this was screaming ego, ego, ego. This entire debacle. And I was like, yeah, he's chewing himself to death, just gnawing at himself. Arrgh. Hey, why don't you delegate? Because that majority owner, the hypothetical one that you made that possibly might come in and they might fix stuff. He's gonna delegate.
Yeah.
His head isn't so far up his own ass that he's not going to fucking draft Frank Kaminsky. Unreal. I can't believe that.
Cody Zeller. Yeah.
Don't get me started. When he signed Rozier to that contract, I wasn't mad. I was happy that Rozier got that bag. But it was just like, bro, you gave him money like Rozier's he was the perfect piece for what the Celtics were doing. Where's the thing for him to do what he was doing for the Celtics? He's not going to average 30 a game, 25 a game. What are you doing? But he does it over and over again. So to me, this was him getting a harsh pill of reality that living so selfishly doesn't pay off when you actually have to have a team sport. And when he was out there playing, this is my criticism. Yeah, I'm going there, y'all. And when my criticism of him as a basketball player, he was too individualistic. I don't like that form of basketball. And I like when everybody's a give and take, equal, everybody, pushing the ball, running, getting buckets, doing a job, Now, was Jordan a hell of a player? Yeah, we're not going to get into that. All I'm saying is I like sharing. I like community. I don't like individualism because that can lead to this scenario. I mean, look at the draft picks. I mean, they ran it down. The win percentage, the playoff appearances. I mean, all of that speaks for itself. And that speaks to somebody who's not understanding what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
if you're a real boss, you will understand that and then delegate that to people who do know what the hell they're doing. And you get all the credit still. That's the play.
Yeah.
But no, I want to make the pick. And I did it. So I 40% win percentage. So have at it. So
Yeah.
hey man, it does suck. I hear what you're saying for the angle like that.
Right.
But I'm also hollering like you said, who's the person that could step up outside of a Jay-Z like we discussed before, or somebody that's actually got money like that to actually make a play. So but yeah, Jay-Z already dealing somewhat with the Nets, right? So
no, he's been sold. No, he's been sold that. That's a long time ago. He's been off of that.
Whoop, y'all.
Yeah,
But
he trying to partner up with Jeff Bezos to see if maybe they can buy the Commanders.
Okay, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, we might get it with Jay-Z. He's next up. So yeah, and Mike, man, I just got on him right there, but hey, man, just chill and play golf, bro. Play poker and chill.
Yeah, so right. I'm conflicted. Like a part of me says, hey, look, you did it. It is what it is. It didn't work out. You didn't do it. It was a bad tenure as an owner. But he is going to sell it for more than he bought it for. So he's going to walk away. That in and of itself is a success. And you're largely considered to be the greatest player ever. So it is what it is. But I'm just looking sort of overall, and I'm saying, one less black owner of a team. And that's too bad. To me, I'm just saying, like, that's just too bad, And yeah, I mean, I hear the whole Jay-Z Bezos thing. We talked about that on the previous video on this channel. I invite everybody to go check that video out. It was a good video. But yeah, you know how I feel about rappers. And so, that's my only issue with Jay-Z is a rapper being the next guy to own a team. But it is what it is. I'll take what I can get. But yeah, I just, it's just sad. It's just sad. It's sad not because I think that he shouldn't sell it because he's doing a good job. It's sad because it's one less black person owning one of these money printing businesses. But in terms of job performance, yeah, he should sell it because he's done a poor job. So I guess it's both of the things. It's both of those things at the same time. So it is what it is. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And it'll be very interesting to see who is the person who ends up buying this stuff. Because one thing about these owners who run successful franchises, you never know who they are. They show up. It's some rich ass person, wealthy. They show up. They buy it. You don't know who the person, you don't know their name. And like you said, they delegate. They hire a good GM. They hire a good president. And they make sure that the head coach is right. Next thing you know, the team is doing better. I don't even know who bought the Jazz. Like, who's the name? What's that guy's name who bought the Jazz? I don't even know that guy's name. But look at what the Jazz literally came into this season with the intention to tank. And somehow, some way, they came out winning games and looking way better than they should, given the fact that they traded Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. They just gave away their best players because they were trying to tank. Fired the coach, who was a good coach. Snyder's a good coach. They were resetting. New dude on the team, and the Jazz are basically trotting guys out there and just playing way above their means. And so, that's what happens when you got these guys who they may not know as much as they need to know about basketball, but they know how to run a successful ship. Yeah. And so, it is what it is, man.
Jordan went to school. Jordan went to school to be a 6-time NBA champion. He didn't go to school to be an NBA executive.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So it is what it is, man. We'll see what happens, but until then, Jordan might be selling the Hornets and riding off into the sunset to go play golf and do whatever else he's doing. Yeah, watch his son, date Larsa Pippen.
Hey, Larsa for the streets.
Oh boy, yeah. Man. All right, lastly, we're gonna talk about Chloe Bailey. Um, by the way, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, people. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Um, as we continue to grow this community, we appreciate you supporting that logical content. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you can get that notification whenever new content is posted to the channel. Hit that like button. Go ahead and leave a comment, please, and thank you. But without further ado, man, we're gonna talk about Chloe Bailey. Chloe Bailey is getting people riled up because she will be appearing as an actress on Donald Glover's new show on, I believe it's Prime Video, called Swarm. And she's in a sex scene in the show Swarm. And so now people are going crazy because angelic Chloe Bailey is in this sex scene getting her back blown out by the guy who plays Franklin on Snowfall. Which we don't talk about Snowfall very much on this channel, but you can group Snowfall into the shows that we talk about often, the Powers and BMFs and all of that other stuff. Snowfall's right in there with that stuff. But yeah, so Chloe Bailey is making the rounds. She's trending heavily because she's in this sex scene, and people are sort of saying that she's making a mistake by doing this because she's like sexually exploiting herself, or she's doing the thing that Hollywood likes to do where they over sexualize black women in film and TV. And people just have a problem with Chloe Bailey. Not everybody, but there's a lot of people, enough that this is a trending topic. People have an issue with Chloe Bailey, being in this role, in this capacity where she's doing this sex scene and whatnot. And so I'll play this, not play, but I'm gonna go ahead and share this screen. We'll share my screen real quick. This is an article from TMZ. So Chloe Bailey is on the show Grownish, and she's on that show with Trevor Jackson. Paparazzi caught up with Trevor Jackson while he was at the airport to ask him what he thinks about some of the backlash that Chloe Bailey is getting for this scene and her being in this show. Now, I'm not going to play the interview, but I will have a link in the description of this video so that you can see this for yourself. TMZ is notorious for copyright flags, so I'm not going to play the clip, but I will read this article. So it says, Grownish actor Trevor Jackson supports Swarm sex scene. Chloe Bailey fans are upset over her spicy sex scene with Damson Idris in Donald Glover's new series Swarm. But her Grownish co-star Trevor Jackson is advising she simply block out all that noise. We caught Trevor at LAX on Monday, and he attributed Chloe's decision to do the scene to her being a grown-up and thinks it screams artistic freedom. Trevor and Chloe have been starring in Grownish since its start in 2018, essentially growing up together, and he says she has his support no matter what. Chloe plays Marissa Jackson in the new show, while Damson plays her boyfriend, Khalid, and the two set off the series with a short yet effective romp that saw Chloe's name dominating the trending topics. Her role was eventually compared to Halle Berry's Oscar-winning Monsters Ball performance, but only because of the doggy-style position they were both in. Chloe admitted to nerves ahead of the sex scene until Damson made her relaxed by cracking jokes on set, but admitted they weren't completely naked and had a squishy ball thingy between their bodies. Regardless of the reaction, Trevor says Chloe made art at the end of the day and thinks comparing her to her sister Halle Bailey, who's starring in the kid-friendly Little Mermaid remake, is a waste of time and energy. Trevor Jackson, of course, had more to say. Again, not going to play that clip because this video will get flagged, and we make too damn good of content to be getting flagged with copyright.
Man.
So link in the description of this video so that you can see what Trevor Jackson had to say. Now, in addition to maybe I should do that after we start talking about it. No, I'll go ahead and play that now. I'll go ahead and share it now. So in addition to that, I'm going to go ahead and share this screen just to set the stage. Just set the stage real quick for anyone who is unaware of Chloe Bailey in and of itself. This is Chloe Bailey's Instagram, so we don't need to spend too much time on this. Just sort of get a glimpse into what Chloe Bailey's internet persona is like. So you can see here she has some stuff from her music, but there's plenty of stuff on her channel of her, being sexual, flaunting her body. Chloe Bailey has her fair share of thirst traps on her Instagram. Again, I'm not necessarily casting aspersions. I'm just sort of providing context. That's all I'm doing here is providing context. But this is Chloe Bailey's Instagram, so a lot of hips and ass. Here's more of her, vacation stuff, and she's ass there, hips everywhere else.
Okay.
A lot of gallivanting, here's more here. This is what Chloe Bailey is kind of about. This is the majority of her Instagram. So don't take my word for it. It is what it is. And then I did want to show this. This is a clip from her music video.
Hey now.
I think the name of this song is Treat Me. So I'll go ahead and also show a brief clip of this. This is also on her Instagram, so it's fair use.
I was still muted. I was still muted. I was still about next time, bro. They'll still flag that. I'll mute it. So they was next time they'll still flag that, bro. So I said,
they'll flag it.
Yeah, I was talking through it. I was like, next time I'll mute it. So hopefully my audio disrupted the audio. But yeah, they'll still flag over that, bro. So I wouldn't even play game with the EB.
Okay. Well, there you go.
She was clapping ass though.
Yeah. So that pretty much sets the stage for that's pretty much what she does on her Instagram, her social media, and all that good stuff. So, what do you make about Chloe Bailey, the scene itself, or people getting mad because apparently they claim that she's exploiting herself, or rather Hollywood is exploiting her, so on and so forth. So people love to talk about stuff like this.
Well, Hollywood can't exploit somebody that knows what Hollywood is. So she's signing up for all of this. There's some people that saw the lights, the glitz and the glamours, heard and saw all the conspiracy videos on YouTube and still decided to go. She's part of the generation of young women who know exactly what's going on in the industry. And she's with somebody that feels like is going to protect her way through it. Instead of coming out with a real sex tape to get on, she made a fake one. It's actually quite clever if you're going to Kardashian yourself to everybody talking about you all week long. So she's going to try to do this as clean as she can while still slurring herself out. I think it's a pretty clever technique. All right. But be that as it may, I don't think she's going to stop here. She doesn't mind sexually exploiting herself so long as she doesn't cross that line. It's kind of like a girl who does OnlyFans, but she only show her feet. She cover her face. So she's still exploiting herself, but she's not really. So as far as the industry goes, I wouldn't put it past her to wear a dress like Ciara, but this ties into the Ciara topic of you're dealing with entertainers whose main job is to manipulate the minds of the people who's watching. And so now you may say, well, she's not manipulating me to do X, Y, and Z. Well, she's manipulating you to listen to the story when it's going across the radio. Somebody showed up naked. Where are the Oscars? Ciara. Oh, she washed up. Oh, Ciara. Now you on YouTube. Every blogger and vlogger's talking about Ciara. right? And so mission accomplished. So same thing with this whole Chloe situation and this TV show is a publicity stunt. Hey, what way can we get everybody to watch our stuff and stream our things? Everybody's going to look for the episode where Chloe's getting clapped up. So Franklin's hot for the young ladies and Chloe's hot for everybody, apparently. So I feel like she's playing her Hollywood card. And this is only the beginning of, because apparently she'll do whatever it takes to stay on the tip of everybody's tongue. All right. Being talented is not much of a thing anymore. You have to also be sexual on top of it if you want to be in the industry and play ball. So how about you, man? Do you think that people are blowing too much on this? You feel like this is just part of the game, or you feel like she's misrepresenting for young ladies out there that could be watching?
Yeah, I think this definitely ties into the first topic that we talked about. This ties into the Ciara thing for me, mostly because of the point about social anarchy that I brought up. Like, people want social anarchy. So Chloe Bailey should be able to do this and, still at the same time be a victim of Hollywood over sexualizing her. I don't know how you can have both of those taking place at the same time, but it is what it is. I don't know. I've given up trying to understand this stuff anymore. I don't know how. So let me remove her. I'm going to remove Chloe from the situation because she isn't complaining about anything. It's other people on the periphery who are complaining about the swarm thing. So to her credit, she ain't complaining. She signed up to do it. She said she was nervous about it, but he made her feel comfortable and all of that good stuff. But she's not complaining. It's other people who are complaining. So I'm going to address the people who are complaining. Like, I don't understand. And again, I guess I'm just confused. This whole entire video, except for the Jordan topic, I've been confused. And I'm confused yet again because I don't understand how you can claim that she's being exploited sexually and being over-sexualized as a Black woman in entertainment when she already sexualized herself. Like, how can you be exploited in that regard when you've already exploited yourself? Like, I just went through her Instagram and whatnot. And again, I'm not necessarily throwing shade, and this is not a shot at her. I'm addressing the people who are talking about this stuff around her. Because I'm pretty sure she ain't tripping. She knows she posts thirst pics on. She knows she be thirst trapping on her Instagram. She knows that.
Yep.
She knows she thirst trapping on her Instagram.
Yep.
She knows that she posts she knows the reaction she's doing it on purpose. She's a new human. New humans thirst trap on the internet. So she knows what she's doing. But to the individuals who claim that Hollywood is exploiting her, she can't be exploited by Hollywood when she willfully participates in her own exploitation. So she's posting those pics to her own Instagram. No one's making her do that. And no one's doing it on her behalf. She's doing that herself. That music video that she put out there where she's clapping ass and twerking and whatnot, she's the artist. She has the artistic she has the ultimate decision in terms of the artistic direction of the music video. If she didn't want to be clapping ass in the video, there would have been no clapping ass in the video. There was clapping ass in the video because she wanted to be in the video clapping ass. Exactly. She wanted to do that. That's what she wanted to do. No one pressured her to do that. That was her decision. This is what I want this music video to be. I want to be wearing this outfit and showing off my body and shaking ass. That's what she wanted to do. That was the artistic direction she chose for that video. She's doing that of her own volition. So if Hollywood decides, hey, you want to be in this TV show? There's a sex scene. And she says, yeah. Hollywood's not doing that. Hollywood's not exploiting her at that point. They're assuming Or maybe they're saying, hey, this is what you've kind of been about. This is the public image that you've curated for yourself via your music and what you do personally. So do you want to be in this TV show where you're getting your black back blown out? I mean, you kind of already been clapping ass on your own accord anyway. It's kind of on brand at that point. No one's exploiting her. She's not playing in the tropes of black women being over sexualized. That's ridiculous. But this is more social justice people using situations to co-opt their own narrative so that they can continue to complain about the shit that they want to complain about. So for the people who have an axe to grind against Hollywood because they feel like Hollywood exploits black women sexually, they can use Chloe Bailey's sex scene as an opportunity to talk about sexual exploitation of black women in entertainment because they're going to do it anyway. It's just a matter of what story or interesting topic they're going to use in order to co-opt their story with. Chloe Bailey just so happened to put something out that they can conveniently co-opt. So this is more of those social people screaming and crying about something that is made up because she ain't being exploited. She already did that herself. She does the music videos. She posts the thirst traps. She does that on her own. She's not being forced into that. No one is bending. She's not bending the knee to some powerful force who's saying, hey, Chloe Bailey, you need to make music videos where you're clapping ass. She wants to clap ass because that's what all new humans want to do. Clap ass. Start OnlyFans. You know, that's what new humans want to do. Am I wrong? Like that's we no rules, social anarchy. So they want to start OnlyFans. They want to clap ass in music videos. They want to wear see-through dresses where they're basically showing everything. That's what they want to do. They don't have to be forced to do this stuff anymore. They're doing it willingly now. No one has to force them to do anything. So this is sour grapes on the part of people who scream about these causes, similar to the body positivity crowd, similar to the mental health crowd. It's the same people who will say, oh, this gives me an opportunity to complain about the stuff that I like to complain about. Like, honestly, your campaign would be more meaningful if you chose stories in which there was actual exploitation taking place. This ain't that. This ain't one of those situations. So I'm sorry to tell you, this ain't phasing Chloe Bailey, nor is it phasing the rest of our culture and society that looks to consume this mind control on a regular basis, herself included. It is what it is. Pick a different topic because you're going to lose this battle. It ain't going to work. You know, so like, this is just a lot of whining. Again, Chloe, she's not doing any of this. It's these people who are loud on the internet who like to complain about everything. Like, pick another fight, pick another story to use in order to fight for the things that you want to fight about, because this is just not the right example. She's a willing participant in this machine. She's not being forced to do any of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And if you don't like it, then I suggest instead of addressing Hollywood for sexually exploiting black women, maybe you should just address her directly, because she's a part of the thing that you claim to hate the most. You know, so, you know, that's pretty much how I saw it. You know, it's just more complaining and more noise, the vocal minority, the loudness, people who just want to complain for their social justice causes, and they direct it in the wrong, ineffective direction, in my opinion. So par for the course, I'm not shocked, but hey, I'll watch those videos myself because I'm not the one sitting here complaining about her being exploited. I already know what the deal is.
Well, but yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like for Lil Nas X, this girl here, Lil Nas X, this girl here, you know, people like to say, oh, the industry is going to do what the industry does. And the industry has liberal agendas. Surprise, everybody. And they're trying to get you to be hypersexual. They want you guys to be hooked on porn and dopamine. And so what's going on now is that when you're subscribed to your Netflix or your, I think this is on Amazon or something like that. So when you're subscribed to one of those things that's extracting and taxing you every month, all right? And then so when you sign up for these things, all right, then they're going to give you agendas. Even their documentaries are agenda based. You have to really be mindful of what you're digesting nowadays, guys. And so for this type of thing here, hook, line, these people are playing y'all. And if y'all look at the entertainment industry as them trying to play you, it might not come off as entertainment anymore. You see, Mr. Glover and all his people and all his little writers already know that if they throw a little girl like this here in the sex scene, that everybody gonna be clicking buttons and talking about it, and everybody done fell for it.
Not only that, not to cut you off, not only that, because I was going to bring Glover up. Not only that, but Glover also knows that he's a young black writer and director. So he knows that no matter what he puts out, he's going to have his large fans and followers of his content who are going to watch his stuff no matter what he puts in it.
Yeah.
You know, because he's operating off of the muscle of Atlanta. Everybody love Atlanta, even white people, black, everybody praises Atlanta. So Glover knows I can take advantage of black liberal. I can take advantage of liberal Hollywood.
Yeah,
He knows that he's not an idiot. He's not an idiot. So he knows liberal Hollywood is behind me and everything that I do. So yeah, sex scenes in my shows or whatever, I'm gonna do this because I'm operating off of the Donald Glover cachet.
Yeah, but
and so I'm gonna get everybody to watch my stuff no matter what.
Right, but factual. But the thing is, the sex scenes they happen in every show. Hell, they have a same-sex sex scene in every show you watch any damn way. So sex scenes ain't nothing new. So why everybody making a big stink about this one? It's about the ass that's being shown and the ass that's getting clapped this time. And that's the strategy behind this. And so the strategy behind this to get views, to manipulate viewers. Now I bet, just like how people run the OnlyFans, just because they saw that somebody got an OnlyFans, so they said, hell, it's only $5.99, and they go run just so they can see her naked. Just the same people gonna run and get a subscription or a free trial, get locked in, forgot, oh shit, I forgot, they done charged me this month. Yeah, they got your ass. Just because you wanted to see 3 seconds of the ass that's twerking on free on Instagram, getting smacked up with a rubber ball between her and the other guy. My thing is, how thirsty are humans now to want to watch that? How do we get here? They put us on a trough. Everything they just dump crap in the trough, and then everybody just blah, 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 blah.
It's like pig slop.
Yeah, what's the latest crap?
Yeah.
Oh man, ain't nothing on Netflix, ain't nothing on nothing. And then they drop a new series or a new documentary or a new Tiger King, and everybody loses their shit and then go watches the indoctrination. It's hook, line, and sinker. They done took it from ABC because people don't watch that no more, and they threw it on streaming. And so if you think I'm over exaggerating about what entertainment does to the masses, go look at what these kids are entertaining themselves with on TikTok, and now look at their attention rates. Hell, they worse than the attention rates from the kids that was a generation before them. People should be getting smarter, not dumber. Entertainment has gotten worse. Entertainment has you keep pushing the envelope every year. So if you keep pushing the envelope every year, society keeps going down every year. Then they people have kids, and now these kids don't even know how to make real mac and cheese out the box. I mean, make real mac and cheese from scratch. They making shit out the box. They don't even know how real food tastes no more. So this whole society right now needs to unplug, and don't let these new wave of mind controllers, Bailey and this Franklin here, because these are they picking new people to control the new people that's coming up. So little girls growing up could want to be like Miss Chloe. So they want to grow up twerking and wearing sheer dresses, because she the new wave. She the new Beyonce for these little girls. And so this is a role model type of thing going on. But me, I separate church from state. I know that that's not entertainment. And I know that it's doing whatever it's doing. So I know that she's using this sex scene so she can get more social cachet. I really don't be hearing this girl's name. I've been hearing a lot this week. Well played.
Yeah.
So this is how they play the masses, y'all. And if you don't want to be a part of their schemes, just like I said before in the other one, you gotta filter this trash out and say, hey, what message are they trying to push to me here? Because even with the scene here, I'm hearing that while he's smashing her, he's looking at some other girl.
Yeah.
While he's smashing her down. Because I don't know
Right,
what's going on in that scene, but leave it up to Glover for some wild stuff happened. All right. Hell, you might like the show, folks. But be that as it may, y'all, be careful with these entertainers, man, because they'll do anything to get your attention and to distract you from your own personal path, man. So
Yeah, well, anything, I remember back in the day, I used to kind of make fun of art because, like, abstract art to me used to always be funny because it's like all I see is blobs of colors on a piece of paper, but you're trying to sell me on the idea that this is some sort of genius piece of art. And, like, essentially you can do anything nowadays when it comes to entertainment and just say, oh, well, it's art. And it's like people will excuse it like, oh, okay, cool. It's acceptable now because it's art. And it's like sometimes some of this shit just is not good.
No.
Sometimes it's bad. Like, stop trying to put seasoned salt on shit and then feed it to me and think that it's still supposed to taste good because you put seasoned salt on it. But that's kind of what this stuff is. Like, Trevor Jackson called what she did art. Is it? She's just getting her back blown out on TV. I've seen that before. How is that artistic? Like, that's been going on for a long time. What is artistic about it? I don't get it. But it's the Donald Glover effect, because Donald Glover has sort of positioned himself as an artiste in entertainment, so he can make something and people will perceive it to be art because he's the one making it, not because it actually has true artistic merit. Now, credit to him because he's been able to finagle his way into that sort of positioning. But nevertheless, when you got to understand how that stuff goes. He can make whatever he wants. And Hollywood is going to determine that it's art. Therefore, the message behind it will be disseminated to the masses that it's art. And most people, because most people are group thinkers and don't think for themselves, will actually believe it and internalize it as art. So that you can see the most outlandish stuff in the show and know that there's something that's not all the way right about it necessarily, but you can reconcile your consumption of it because you believe it to be art. It's a very tricky game that's played, but it's effective nevertheless. So, it's just interesting, and I'll be interested to see how it plays out. And the one last thing that I did want to point out was, Glover. You brought up Glover because I was going to bring Glover up because, it's a lot of people who are talking about the fact that her being in this scene is indicative of the way that Hollywood likes to sexually exploit black women and put black women in roles to sexualize them and whatnot, as if to say that it's like the tone behind it, or at least this is what I pick up from that kind of rhetoric. The tone behind it is, this is what white Hollywood does to black people in entertainment. That's the undertone behind that kind of language. That's how I take it, at least. But that doesn't necessarily wash because Glover is a black filmmaker. Like, Glover is the one who created the show. He's the one behind it. He's the artistic brain power behind this thing. And Glover's a black guy. So you can't even really use this whole Hollywood exploiting black women excuse unless you're going to cry black on black crime in Hollywood, which I don't hear nobody doing that. They're just saying she's being exploited. So people need to pick the fight that they want to pick. Pick one lane and choose one. Like I said, right now I'm confused. I don't know how the girl is being exploited because to me, she's already exploited herself. Furthermore, I don't know how she's being exploited by Hollywood when the very piece of content that she is in, upon which she's apparently being exploited, is created by her own people. So if someone can make sense of that to me, I'll be all ears. But other than that, sit back and enjoy your mind control.
You might not agree. You might not agree with what I'm about to say, but and I hear what you're saying. But when it comes to Glover, he don't own no studio. So Glover's
Correct.
Glover's not Hollywood, and they picked Glover for a reason too. So you gonna do what we say to do, because you're not gonna come out with anything that's gonna help anybody. So you can have your little satire here and there that you can do your best to portray a message, but they're only gonna limit so much. That's why we call it diet woke, by the way.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna get the full brunt of what awareness really is, because if you would, you wouldn't even be watching the damn program. So yeah, it's a systemic situation that Glover's a part of, and he's allowed to have videos like have a TV show like this. It has nothing to do with, I'm sure, I haven't watched it, but I can pretty much surmise that nothing about that TV show is going to build a brick for our community. It's just another thing to watch on Saturday before you smash something. So all I say is that no, this I'm not saying that to tie into why they're saying that black women getting exploited. Well, hell, the whole industry gets exploited.
Right.
And if you ain't popping ass, and that's males too, you ain't going nowhere. And the stories are already out there. So you people can sit here and, oh well, you're speculating, whatever, man. So yeah, I'm sure it's it's all made up and fictitious, because you sit there and you and buy tickets to an IMAX for the latest mind control thing. But I'm telling you right now, everybody already knows that the Harvey Weinstein thing was a microcosm of what goes on in Hollywood as a whole, and in the industry as a whole, music too. That's why that girl had to have sex for her feature. You got to bust down in this industry in order to get on, period. So she's not going to make a real sex tape, but she can simulate one. Very clever, in my opinion. Because she came out with a real, because she getting as much buzz if it was a real one.
Right. Because of who she is, like you said.
Yeah, well played in my book. So they playing the Hollywood card and everybody biting. So the only reason why I'm talking like this is just to give people the lens that I see the world through. You may not have to agree, but pick up the shades. I just dropped them on your desk, and try them every once in a while to see the world through a different pair of lenses. And you go, you know what? They are trying to play me. You know what? I did pick up them habits after watching that movie back when I was in third grade. I wouldn't have been doing that had I not watched that movie. Some people got inside jokes from TV shows. You wouldn't even be saying that joke if you never watched Martin, Fresh Prince, or The Cosby Show. So yeah, even your humor is laced through what those people told you what funny is. So my whole thing is, get a mind for yourself, get out of that box. You're adults now, and think for yourselves and look at the world objectively. But this Bailey situation, it would only get worse. And her sister and everybody else that you think is a little sweet and innocent gonna be next.
No. Her little sister will follow suit.
Yeah, the next.
Yes, and it'll all be okay, because it will be quote unquote art. Therefore, it makes it okay. And look, man, I don't put it past anything. Nothing surprises me these days. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if Chloe Bailey starts an OnlyFans. It's coming. Because look, I said in the previous topic, no pun intended there, no pun intended. But I said in the previous topic that the only sure bet today, from a wealth generational standpoint, is like pro sports teams. Another sure bet in today's weirdo economy is just bust ass, like you said. Sex will get them every time. So I just think that, she's a new human and she is a byproduct. She's grown up in a world in which she is completely and utterly desensitized to the notion that this is not the way real life is supposed to be.
Yes, exactly.
So for her, clapping ass and wearing those types of outfits, seeing Ciara wear see-through dresses, starting an OnlyFans, doing an OnlyFans, it's just art and normal. So, but yeah, I concur with all of that. I'm with you. I just know that Glover has that Hollywood cachet. And whoever is bankrolling his projects is well aware of this. It allows them to satiate their need in order to, diet woke. It backing Glover allows them to feign caring about actual black art or black people or whatever. And they also get to service themselves through making money by profiting off of the machine of the sex and all of that kind of stuff. So it really does kill two birds with one stone. I just don't want to hear people telling me that Hollywood is exploiting a girl who already exploited herself.
Exactly.
You cannot tell me that she's being taken advantage of when she is already actively curating a persona for herself in which she's positioning herself as a sex object. She's doing that. No one's making her do that. She's doing that herself. So pick another fight to fight. Pick another story to use to fight on behalf of that idea, because this ain't the right one. It's crazy, man.
Bailey, just put the stuff on OnlyFans already. All right, I'm not subscribing, but a few Google searches 2 weeks after you drop, I should be able to see everything I need to.
It's definitely coming. It's not only is it coming for sure, but she's gonna call it something like, because you know how they try to finesse this stuff. Come into my world and get a glimpse into my life and what I like to do, and be a part of my community and my fans. And I appreciate all you guys. And it's like, okay, you're just sugarcoating popping ass in private on OnlyFans, but that's neither here nor there, people. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting topic, nevertheless.
Oh, for sure.
But we'll go ahead and wrap that up, man. This was good stuff tonight. Appreciate everybody for tuning into the stream. Another Conscious Approach video in the books. My name is JV Wins. That is Dogon SS. As I always like to say, man, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We enjoy making this logical content, and we certainly appreciate everybody who has joined along with us on the ride. We are going strong. Race to 1K, and we'll continue to move after that. Be sure to follow Conscious Approach on Instagram at ConApproach, ConApproach. Follow me on Instagram at JVWins, JVWINS. Check out the website as well, consciousapproach.com, and be on the lookout for the audio feed wherever you get your podcast fix, so that you can listen to the audio version of us doing our thing each and every week. Certainly appreciate you tuning in. And if you happen to be watching this video on the Meta page, the Facebook page, follow that page as well. Like the page, share the video, also share the video from YouTube. But we definitely want to get this community to continue to grow and evolve. So hit that subscribe button. Until the next video, man, unplug from the matrix. Learn how to filter your mind control. Be responsible with your consumption of mind control. And we will certainly catch you on the flip side on the next broadcast.
Absolutely. And the name is Dogon SS. Skrr. All right. You can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS and on YouTube at Dogon_SS. Also, Hurricane Dogon. Yes, sir. All right. The channel is it's still in the work. We get that thing going. It's dropping though. So just go ahead and sub now. You know what I'm saying? Go Canes all day, every day. Shout out to the women's basketball team who's in the Sweet 16 and the men's basketball team. We is balling. All right. So, but yeah, as I say on every podcast, all right, you know what I'm saying? Don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it playing, man. Don't let anybody get you off your pivot, man. And that includes the industry, who continues to try to get you off of your pivot, try to get you off your square. All right. So remember, just as JV Wynn said, man, have your filters on, man, have your antennas up, and make sure you filtrate this stuff. Have a balance about your life. Everything that you see and hear on these TVs, program, podcasts, all right, even our words, filter those things out. And I'm pretty sure you're going to give yourself some good answers. So, but like we said, every time, guys, we'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Yes, sir. Appreciate everybody for joining in on chat, man. And until next time, we're going to catch you on the flip side. We are signing off. Peace.
Peace.